Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Star Wars Force of Evil, and Samurai Jack, among others. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Hayley Nabuurs.
Hello.
And April Collins.
Hi.
Today, Hayley, April, and I will be getting into a lot of recent Steven Universe spoilery stuff. Season 5 speculation. We're just coming off of the big bomb to end Season 4 that concluded with Are You My Dad and I and My Mom. And here we are recording this on May 11th at 8:20 p.m. Eastern, which is very important to tell you because we've just a very like half an hour ago or less, a trailer for the next 4 episodes came out. And we're planning on having a spoiler-filled speculation podcast. This was scheduled several days ago, and that was after this morning, the entire Stuck Together episode, the next episode, was released. Basically, we're talking about everything that is out there up until this point, all the spoiler stuff. If you don't want to see spoilers, get off now, basically. I already spoiled the next episode name, but, we're talking all possible spoilers. Mainly, we're going to get into this trailer for the Wanted Memorial Day event, the 4-part episode, a 4-episode part event, which I guess an hour, so that's 4 episodes. We're going to get into the trailer and we're going to break it down frame by frame. We're going to react to Stuck Together. This is not a Stuck Together episode discussion. So this is more just going to be a reaction, not getting into the details. The full episode of that is out. And we're going to talk about the titles of the next episodes and what's to come. So tune out now if you don't want spoilers. Check us out at overlyanimated.com. And we cover all the Steven Universe episodes. We have episode discussions. We just got through putting our episode discussions out for that bomb week. Check out our podcast on the finale episodes, Are You My Dad and I on My Mom. I thought we got into some really interesting discussion there. But all of that's outdated now. So we're gonna talk about all this. What are the hype levels right now, considering all this information thrown at us? How you feeling, Hayley?
I'm pretty pumped. I was pumped already with knowing, officially spoilers, but just that one of the next episodes is called The Trial. I was like, oh, that sounds really neat. Cool. We'll probably go to Homeworld. And now watching this trailer, it's yeah, we're definitely in, if not Homeworld, the closest we've ever been to it. And seeing all the diamonds and everything. So I'm pretty pumped. It looks like it's definitely getting into the rearing forward plot momentum train is taking off with this next kind of segment. So yeah. I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah. Hyped, April?
I'm definitely hyped. I think this is the most hyped I've been about Steven Universe in a long time. So this is very exciting, and it's almost overwhelming how much is being sort of thrown at fans all at once. So I'm very the adrenaline is flowing through my veins. I'm excited.
Yeah. This is too much at once to process, but we are going to Homeworld. This is it. We're here. Mm-hmm. The hype is real. I've been waiting to go to Homeworld forever. I was very skeptical considering how slow the show was moving recently, but we are here, I guess. I mean, I guess is this trailer on Homeworld? Probably, right? So let's.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure as well, because I'm pretty sure at the end of Stuck Together, Aquamarine was like, all right, we're here at Homeworld. And I was like,
oh yeah, she was, didn't she?
She says we're here. So one of my big questions before this trailer was does that mean we're here at Homeworld? Are we at did we go to the zoo first? But no, I think we're answered that we're not at the zoo after this trailer. So, we're going to break down, this trailer. By the way, before today's events, one of the big spoilers I was going to address was the fact that someone who's working on the console game coming out, had spoiled the names of Aquamarine and Topaz early, and also said that we're going to Homeworld. It's we're going to Homeworld was a big spoiler coming into this, and I thought we were going to break that down for a while, but no, now that's accepted. So we're past that.
That is truth.
Yeah. So the big thing this trailer says, Wanted, the special 1-hour event on Memorial Day. That's the 29th, I think. So that's not the dates that we previously got of the 31st and this first. Again, literally never try. The listings are more often wrong than right. So again, just always ignore that. But, the one thing I want to preface is, all this is relative to when we're recording this now. If there's more stuff out, please don't say you guys missed this. Like, yeah, it hadn't happened yet. Okay, so this is
we understand.
I gave you a timestamp, but yeah, let's break this trailer down. There's there's a million interesting things here, and I think Stuck Together is going to get buried, but we'll also react to that. We've seen 1/4 of this one night event. This is basically a Steven Bomb all in one night is what I would say. And some of this footage we'd seen before. We're going to go frame by frame here. This is the classic from the spirit world, now overly animated move of the hype trailer breaking it down. So we don't often get to do this, and you guys are being thrown into the fire on this. So let's go. I'm viewing this trailer at streamable.com/i6cd3. I don't know if it's still there when you're listening to this, but that's where I'm viewing it. There's no timestamp on this site, so I'm going to just we're gonna like pause when the scene changes, basically. Okay, so this is cool. So load up your trailer if you're listening, and we'll go through this together. If you're in the car or something, you can imagine it because I'm sure you've memorized it already. So
seared into your eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm watching sound off. So there's one notable quote because that I wrote down already. But I think Yellow Diamond briefly talks at some point in this, but the Blue Diamond quote I think is the most notable. But I am watching sound off just because sound reasons on a podcast. But let's go. So first scene is Steven standing on some sort of ledge, looking pensive, is what I would say. This is not the one big thing we need to address. Is this from Stuck Together or not? No, right? This is not from Stuck Together. So this is from one of the.
I don't think so.
Isn't this from the I Am My Mom one? Isn't this when he's like they're all in the water?
Okay.
That's what I thought
right?
too. I was like, they're
like
sort of they're leading
because let me cut to Pearl.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah, and then Pearl is also from that. See, there's too much happening here. So the first few seconds of this already happened. Okay, we don't care about that. The Steven walking and then Pearl like being so we saw that already. Okay, next scene. Yeah. Okay. Then there's a few seconds of black and here's Steven yelling. What's Steven yelling? I already forgot.
Like, bring it on or something.
Oh, wasn't he saying like I'm the one you want, like, or something along those lines? I
think it's I'm ready.
I'll briefly patch in the audio.
That's right. Go ahead.
Let's patch in the audio. I think you guys are going to hear this, so let's go. I'm ready. Yeah, he says I'm ready. You guys, you two didn't hear that, but I think the listeners heard that. So I'm ready. Okay.
Okay.
So he's shouting that. We don't know what he's shouting at. He's just kind of in this nondescript background.
What wasn't that part of like I guess sort of the speech that he gave before he let Aquamarine and Topaz take him too?
Was this from an episode we already saw?
I think the background of this, like like the pastel-y lavender kind of background, it looks similar to me. Like in a couple seconds, we cut to him in this weird diamond room with like a blue gem, and he's sitting in this little diamond cutout. It kind of looks like that background to me.
I think we probably didn't see this background. Like, why are they sticking clips not from this event in this trailer?
Right.
And sometimes whenever they do trailers, they'll like they'll pull either like audio or sometimes even like, they're usually better about visuals, but they'll pull audio from like either a episode leading up to it and then sort of like put it like setting that stage, but then they're still showing like images from new episodes, so it gets really, really confusing. At least for me, anyway. I don't know about other
Cartoon
people.
Network has been intentionally misleading in trailers before. We had the Pearl whatever she was saying like in that last trailer from something last year, and it was from the theme song or something. It was like not. Yeah, it was so. Be warned, like this could be misleading. Something very notable: disconnect things you're hearing characters say that aren't matching the moved lips because it probably is not from that scene. So like later we'll hear Blue Diamond say something. It's not necessarily from the scene of her looking at Steven. So So
I was going to say they're really good about doing that as well. Like they'll disconnect everything almost. So you almost have to take like the visuals and the audio separately. So
it is definitely you have to. But in this case, Steven is saying I'm ready, and we hear him. We like see him saying that. So, I mean, I guess like the only thing we really know about what's going to happen, is that there's something called the trial. So, we'll get into more details later, but like, is this the trial of Rose Quartz? Steven says, I'm ready for the trial. Like that would make sense with his proclamation at the end of season 4 of like, face the consequences of Rose. Like, I think that's probably wrong, but that's, the most base level explanation for him saying I'm ready. Yeah, and we'll keep going. We'll try to connect. We'll also try to connect it. Like we just saw this like minutes ago, so we'll maybe catch things we hadn't seen before. But let's move on to the next.
We're still
scene.
processing.
Yeah, exactly. The next scene is something we saw from Stuck Together. It is Topaz's walking and carrying Lars and Steven and going into separate rooms. That's how Stuck Together ends.
Yeah.
So we see all that. Okay. Next, I think is my most interesting shot of the trailer. It is a new gem.
Yeah.
In
a weird looking gem. It's got like a mohawk or something.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is we can't process this all at once. This is so crazy. This shot confirms a million things about the show. We're getting an answer here like that we've seen. Justin and I had a giant white diamond speculation podcast, and we talked about like, is one of the theories we addressed is white diamond being a fusion of the other diamonds. And in this shot, the ground is lit by 3 separate diamonds, blue, pink, and yellow, and in the middle they converge to make white.
White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that theory. That theory makes sense to me.
This is the best supporting evidence. Previous to this, that theory had very little evidence. Now this is huge evidence in favor of that theory.
Well, I was gonna say that was a theory that I had been like trying to formulate as well, and so I've like scoured the, as you do, you scour the internet and you try to find like things to support whatever it is that you believe. So that for me, I'm like, oh, maybe they're all white diamonds. So
just because we haven't seen her, like it seems really weird that we've never seen her before.
Yeah,
so that would be neat.
That's
thing.
the time of stuff we get into. And when you cut to the next shot, Steven's sitting in some 2 triangles overlapping that are different shades of blue. Unclear if that's related to the symbol on the floor that lights up.
It kind of. I'm looking really closely at the shot where like they're all converging with the blue gem. And it looks like Steven has like triangular shadowing around him. Yeah.
So that's a zoom in of the wider shot of him sitting on the floor, right? So of the 2 blue triangles. So why is where he's sitting have further triangles? Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
I don't have an immediate explanation, but I will say, why are there only 3 diamonds of the floor on this? Like, these aren't diamonds; these are triangles, but they're like converging.
Yeah.
So maybe they would form if you expanded it. But yeah, my initial reaction is, wow, white diamonds of fusion. Like that's crazy, and that's only the first aspect of this. There's a new gem here too. This is some weird, like kind of like butlery, nerdy looking gem. That's not clear what color she is, like blue probably, but I
was gonna say she looks blue to me.
Yeah.
So. And
she pulls up this thing, this computer terminal that launches the lights of the diamonds at the end. Any immediate jumping out theories about this new gem?
It kind of like, just based on the legs and like the tech aspect, it kind of reminds me of like a blue peridot almost.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. Maybe it's like the blue's counterpart of that.
Yeah, I think peridot's like the biggest, the most direct parallel here. But this is definitely not a peridot, and she looks different. It's hard to tell like what color affiliation. It seems blue, but there's a lot of background lighting. And why would is this gem like helping Steven? Why would anyone be helping Steven on Homeworld?
I don't know. I have a theory about what this is going on with the bit at the end with Blue. I think those scenes might be connected.
Okay, so
I think so too.
Yeah, I'll point it out. It's just based on what Steven's standing on when Blue's kind of looking at him.
Okay, cool. So we'll table that for now. Like maybe this person's like this gem is activating the beginning of the trial or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to that. Steven's the next shot is like we talked about before. Steven, the zoomed in shot of Steven on the 2 triangles. Next is a shot that we saw from Stuck Together of Aquamarine. It doesn't, the most notable thing about Aquamarine and Topaz, it does not seem like they're in the other 3 episodes because we only see shots of them from Stuck Together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
I would agree with that.
Which I'm very sad about as the world's number 1 Aquamarine fan after the last episode. So,
maybe she'll be there like sucking up to Blue and Yellow for a minute.
I would love to see that. Yeah. So, we saw her looking pissed from Stuck Together. Next is a very interesting sequence of a red light scanner scanning Lars and Steven as they are kind of like cowering in the corner in front of some sort of gem tech. The red light goes downwards and Steven's gem lights up. And then Steven looks down in surprise.
So I think maybe it's some kind of like, I don't know, like I would assume it would be some kind of tech that like detects gems. So maybe they're in an area they're not supposed to be. And so that's the security system that's in place, because it just goes over Lars. But then as soon as it hits Steven's gem, it's like it lights up. So to me, that suggests some kind of escape. Maybe they're trying to escape or sneak around.
Yeah. Why are they on their own if they're captured? That's my question. Yeah.
Yeah. And in kind of like a messy looking place that looks like people haven't been around it in a while or something.
Yeah. Maybe they do slip away. Yeah. It's not clear whether this is just a gem detecting thing. Like it's like scanning for life forms. And on that world, a gem is a life form. So it would detect Steven.
And then, I was going to say it detects Steven, but it's this like, I'm really bothered by how disconnected, and the more that I just have it like playing on and on and on. And I'm like, man, like there's a scene that we'll get to later as we're discussing this promo, that is actually like the final result of the scene that we're currently talking about. So just like, this whole promo is very disconnected. Okay. It's very misleading almost.
So, yeah, definitely. So we'll come back to that, I guess. I haven't really made these connections yet. I'm still processing, but my question is like, is this detecting any gem or rose quartz because she's wanted? That's like kind of what sticks out to me. Like, is it programmed to look for rose? Okay, let's continue. We'll come back to that. This was a hard to follow sequence here of a bunch of shots stuck together. So this is the hardest part of these trailers. So first, something jumps out of a ball. It
like shoots out of the ball.
It shoots out of the ball. This is, if you stop it at the right time, this is Blue Diamond's Pelican, and it contains Steven in it.
Looking hilarious.
Or like a Steven doll, because it doesn't look like him. But
it's got like a little frowny face.
Yeah,
I know.
His little red shoes,
like hyper stylized Steven.
Yeah,
but so Blue Diamond's Pelican. This will make more sense, I guess, when we view other Blue Diamond scenes. We can come back to this too, but I don't know what that ball is. I don't know. I didn't know the Diamonds use Pelicans on Homeworld, if that's where we are. So that's a surprise to me. I thought that was maybe
maybe they don't and they're stealing it.
Yeah, it's like in storage or something.
Yeah, maybe Steven's escaping on it or something. Yeah, that's true.
Because that's the thing. They got to find a way off.
Yeah, that's
that would do it.
That's interesting. Okay, next shot is some sort of laser, like cutting down a wall of gem holes, like Jasper holes, basically. Okay, if we're on Homeworld, again, this, like, once we go to Homeworld, we've been speculating for years in these roundtables of just very basic things that we just don't know the answers to. One of the things that I think I talked about with Delaney a lot is, like, are gems made on Homeworld or just on colonies like Earth? And if there's these holes on Homeworld, that confirms that gems are also made on Homeworld. Like, that's significant in its own right.
I was going to say, I wonder if, like, because, Steven and Lars are kind of in like a sort of like decrepit looking area that looks like it might not be in use anymore. And so I wonder if at one point Homeworld used to create gems on it, and then they sort of used up their resources, which they've kind of alluded to in the past. And then that's why they started like colonizing other planets so that they could continue
that was
producing more gems.
That was a big Delaney theory, and definitely a lot of support for that in the show. And you're right. If Steven and Lars are in like an ancient Homeworld area, these could be the first Homeworld gems, and now they don't make on Homeworld any longer. Yeah, totally. That could definitely be true.
Maybe these. I'm just looking at like the background in between the silhouettes of it. It kind of looks almost similar to the material that the Pelican was just bursting out of. Like that stone purpley kind of thing. I don't know. Yeah. Like maybe this is all connected, or
it does look like stone, and the blue ball that the Pelican comes out of looks maybe like stone, less
kinda, sorta. Yeah. Granted, it is Homeworld, so the materials probably aren't exactly the same.
Right. It'd be surprising to see stone on Homeworld. I'd expect it to all be like metals and synthetic materials. So I think that's
and that ball's kind of contained in like a weird metal wiry kind of structure around it.
Yeah.
Interesting. And not enough support to figure out what is even causing the beam. I guess let's continue maybe the trailer round so that I don't remember. Next scene is Yellow Diamond's here shooting lightning. Because
it kind of looks like the beam from the second Or the one we just looked at, the slide we just looked at?
Yeah, I guess it could be.
Kinda.
Again, these trailers are very misleading, so like you don't want to connect these things. I think it looks
Exactly.
I think it looks a little different. I think she's shooting more individual strands of lightning, and the beam we see before is like a cohesive like thing. First of all, Yellow Diamond's back, very happy.
Yay!
Yeah, she's angry. She has lightning powers, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Lightning powers.
Of course she does.
I guess so. Is she Azula? Like, what's going on here? Like, so
she could be. She's as scary as Azula.
Yeah, she's mad at someone. Presumably, she's shooting this at. Well, there's next scene is a lightning beam going at Lars, who dodges, but I don't think it's from her. I think this is not connected.
I think that one's the scene that I was talking about. That's connected to the one with the thing that scans Lars and Steven. Yeah. Because if you look, they're jumping up, like Lars is jumping away from that exact area. So I'm like, oh, you put those two together and it makes sense.
Yeah, those definitely are from the scene with the scanning red light from before they activate Steven's gem. And Yellow Diamond was not there. So probably the thing that's scanning shoots this beam after it scans Steven. And this is not Yellow Diamond shooting, even though they're connected in the trailer. Theirs aren't actually connected.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tricky.
Next is, and then they fall out of the way. So we're starting to piece together one of these episodes, I think, which is Lars and Steven's escape attempt. And they view, and because like in the next scene we see the blue pelican containing Lars and Steven falling down. Presumably this would connect to the giant ball that the blue pelican shot out of. Yeah.
That makes sense to me as well.
So I'm connecting.
Yeah, it's the same background.
Yeah, I'm connecting the pelican scenes and the scanning scenes and the jumping out of the way of the scanning light. I think there's like an escape attempt episode.
I think so as well. That's the most logical thing. I mean, I can't imagine that
action packed.
Yeah, it's awfully action packed, but at the same time, it's like one of those things where like there has to be some kind of escape that takes place, because I can't imagine that the entire 5th season or the rest of the show is going to take place on Homeworld. So
right, that's a question we're gonna have to address after this. Is how long are we gonna be in Homeworld past this event or not? Well, we'll continue through the trailer and then we'll come back to that question. Yeah. Next shot after the pelican crawls is angry Lars, smashing a thing with a stone column.
You mean the same thing that was scanning him earlier?
Potentially. I don't think we see the thing that scans them, right?
I was going to say,
yeah, it's the same one.
Okay, we have to go back here. This is, okay, we do see it.
It is the same. It just,
okay. So we can again connect this to the thing they're jumping away from. And this connects the scanning thing to the gem holes. Because we see that in the background, Lars, does something brave. Wow, good job, Lars. After your terrible showing in the finale, like, abandoning Sadie.
I know, gosh.
We not happy with Lars, but he smashes the scanny thing after it shoots at them. He grabs it, and they're also in front of the gem holes. So a lot of these scenes connect to the Steven and Lars episode. I want to put on the audio here for this Blue Diamond quote that comes up next. So let's take a listen. Except you guys not, but
do something worse.
Oh, well, that was the end of it. So we need to go back. Apparently this was said further. So
because I want to do something worse.
Because I want to do something worse. Before that, she says, I want to know what she thinks we're going to do with her because I'm going to do something worse. So let's come back to the audio and just see the final scene of this trailer. Turn off the sound. Okay. Which is Steven in front of Blue Diamond, who does not look pleased, I would say.
Nope.
And
not like her usual mopey self.
Yeah, she looks angry, I would say, and her eyes go wide in front of Steven standing on some blue pedestal. I don't think this connects to anything else we saw in the trailer, or maybe we saw something with blue earlier, didn't we?
I think it might connect with like the trial scene, or what we're assuming is the trial scene
with the blue gem.
So I wonder if it's one of those things where like the trial sort of takes place in a way that Steven has to face each of the diamonds individually versus together. So, because
I feel like it's like a. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, even it seems just from what I'm gathering, at least from this promo, it seems that they would be separated and not necessarily
Yeah.
You know, because they do a really good job at keeping them separate as well inside of the promo. They're like, here's Yellow Diamond, scene, 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 scene. Here's Blue Diamond, end.
Yeah. Well, we don't see that.
So,
we don't see them together. So it's hard to draw conclusions beyond that. But let's dive into this Blue Diamond quote because I think that relates to what you're talking about. Tell me the pronouns in this are important. So let me know if I have this accurate. I want to know what she thinks we're going to do with her, because I'm going to do something worse. She thinks we're going to do with her.
Yeah, I caught on to that too, because I was like, well, she could even not be I mean, but again, there's never, with like the Homeworld gens, there's no separation between Steven and Rose Quartz, because he is Rose Quartz to them. So I wish I could remember, like, in terms of them talking even about Steven, like, if they used he's or she's, you know what I mean? Even after they, I can't remember.
I don't believe that the Diamonds have referred to Steven with a pronoun, or even addressed Steven. I don't think they've even met Steven.
Really.
They don't think I've met Steven. Yeah. So, this is, because Steven could totally be one of the she and her, because Steven has Rose Quartz. But the thing is, if one of them's talking, this can't be Blue talking to Yellow, or because that doesn't make sense. Like, who's the she or the her other than Steven in that? It has to be Blue talking about Yellow, I think.
That's what I was that's what I was putting together in my head as well, because I can't imagine that, like, Blue would be talking about Steven or Rose Quartz in that way to Yellow, because the dynamic between the two of them, Blue's not like that fierce person. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Yellow is. Like, Yellow is the aggressive, like, individual of the pair. And so I can't imagine that she's talking to Yellow Diamond at that moment.
No, this seems like definitely like anger brought about by grief, kind of. Like, it's a different kind of anger from Yellow's, where she's kind of maniacal and everything, whereas Blue is like, sees the product of what killed Pink and is not happy, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the level 1 answer to why is Blue angry, because we've only ever seen her sad, is that she's addressing Pink's killer here. In her mind. Yeah. And she's very angry at Steven / Rose for killing either her sister or lover, who knows, so it's, the only thing we know about Blue Diamond is that she loved Pink Diamond, and, she's addressing the person who killed her. So this is, I think, a statement consistent with her character if she's talking about Steven. It is definitely not what she's saying to Steven, like the trailer presents it as, because that doesn't really make any sense.
Her mouth isn't moving.
So my initial reaction is that Blue is talking to someone else, saying, I want to know what she, Yellow Diamond, thinks we're going to do with her, Steven, because I'm going to do something worse. I think that's this is a hard statement to parse. Once you parse it, I think this is probably the initial reading of what this might be about. The question is, like, who could Blue possibly be talking to?
Well, yeah, that's the other thing, is who is it that Blue is talking to? And I know I really love the idea of, like, the White Diamond is the result of a fusion between the diamonds. But I almost wonder if at that point she is talking to possibly White Diamond.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Know.
And then, like, sort of like what is it? Like, White Diamond is the one who makes the final judgment, but she's not necessarily the one who's there in the trial, kind of thing. So it's like, oh, well, she could be talking to White, and she'd be like, oh, well, I wonder what Yellow thinks that we should do with Rose Quartz, because I want to do whatever's worse.
Yeah, my first interpretation on that line was Blue saying maybe to Yellow, I wonder what Steven / Rose Quartz thinks we're going to do to him / her.
Okay.
That's how I took it.
Okay.
Because then that would clear up who Blue's talking to as well.
That's a better, I think that's a more basic reading than me. I'm going to interpret that as the new default. So,
new default decided.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense. I'm upset I missed that. So I want to know what, Steven thinks we're going to do with Steven, because I'm going to do something worse. Blue says to Yellow. Yeah. Okay. So that's the easiest to interpretation. I think it could make sense if Blue's talking to White, but again, highly skeptical now that we saw that fusion,
The
triangles that White would be here. I also think like going to Homeworld and introducing a new diamond is a lot at once. So I think that we might not do that. If Blue's not talking to Yellow, Blue could be talking to Aquamarine or a different gem under her, such as Blue Pearl, or a Sapphire or something like that. So I think that
the Pearl might make sense, actually.
Yeah.
Because if she's like in a fit of like passionate rage or whatever, Pearl is probably going to be closest to her, then she might just be venting to her.
Yeah, and I think the Blue Pearl will probably tell her to chill out. Is from from what you've seen.
Or
even a song,
even a Sapphire, because they can, you know.
Yeah, the statement might make sense because she's talking about the future, right? So she could be talking to a Sapphire, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we're on Homeworld, so like any gem could show up.
Maybe it's the blue gem that we saw earlier in the trailer. Maybe it's a Holly Agate from, there's infinite possibilities now that we're on Homeworld. So, yeah. So okay, we made it. Wanted 1 hour special event on Memorial Day at 7. Okay, so.
Roller coaster.
We're making a lot of assumptions here, but I think that one of the 3 episodes is a Stephen Lars escape solo episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one of the 3. And I think there's another, I think the trial, but it might not be the trial. It might be like a misleading title. It might be like actually taking place next episode is of, Blue kind of addressing Stephen, Yellow probably also, but we only see Yellow shooting lightning. So, it's not clear that Yellow addresses. Clearly it seems like it's hard not to conclude that they're going to put Stephen on trial, from the episode, The Trial. And Stephen's also standing in front of them. It seems to indicate that. I think my biggest questions from the trailer are like, what's happening with the new gem? Is that just, activating the trial? Like that gem is like the judge, blanking on the name of it, the bailiff, right? Like, is that diamond just the trailer, or the gem just the trial bailiff? And so you said, so we said something about Steven standing on a thing at the end. I remember that. Oh, so at the end, I see which one of you said that. So Steven's
the bit in the middle that he's sitting on, it kind of looks like that.
Yeah, so Steven at the end when Blue is addressing him in the last shot of the trailer, standing on a alternating blue colored, we can't tell what shape it is. It looks like a triangle. It could be a diamond. And if you go back to the shot of the gem activating, it is a multicolored triangle thing. So I'm going to definitely connect these 2 shots of the new gem activating a thing that puts away the ground, and Steven's just standing on what ends up being a triangle shaped pillar.
Yeah, and he looks pretty nervous when he's sitting in the shot previous too, so that would make sense.
Yeah, so I think that
I was going to say it makes sense to me.
Definitely the beginnings of the trial. So we kind of now see most things accounted for in the scope of 2 episodes, the escape episode and the trial episode. Yeah, I think there's are there any shots that we don't have I think Steven's shouting, whatever he's shouting in the beginning, right? I'm ready or something.
I have a theory with that. Yeah. Because I'm wondering, when I first heard the title, The Trial, I was thinking, my first thought was like, oh, a trial like with lawyers and a judge and everything. But I'm wondering if maybe it's more like a gladiator trial, where he's like going through all these different stages or being punished in different ways and everything. So I'm wondering, total speculation, but if the bit at the beginning when he's yelling, I'm ready, and he's got that purple background, maybe it's right after Blue's talking to him when he's standing on this pedestal thing. And she's like, oh, you got to do all this stuff. And he's like, I'm ready. And then we go off and do other stuff. But you never know.
Yeah, true.
But that would be a good way of punishing him, right?
Yeah, we're assuming too much like that this is just a human, like similar to a human court. But this could totally just be any whatever the Homeworld version of a trial is. This could be him facing something. I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready could be him facing punishment, or it could be him facing judgment. I think Steven saying I'm ready would be more likely to be him facing judgment, because that's what he was so eager for in the finale. But really it could be anything. I think we're missing an episode here, right? Like I
think so.
We might just be not seeing anything from Lars's head, the final episode in the event.
Well, and I almost wonder if my thing with Steven Universe episode titles is they can be so misleading. And so I know initially, I was like, oh, Lars's head. And I was like, oh, well, I read about how like the title of this episode scared me, and that, as dark as it would be, I have a feeling that it won't live up to its namesake. You know what I mean? Like, because I remember when they released the title for Hit the Diamond, I was like, yeah, we're going to see Diamond.
Yeah, no.
Not quite.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Yeah, good.
So
Good point. Like we talked about, the trial stuff could not just be in the trial. It could be in the next episode. Like the trial could be referring to the beginning of the trial, like happening at the end of the episode or something. Let's get into our episode titles. Like we talked about, The Trial. So we stuck together, which we saw already, followed by The Trial, followed by Off Colors, followed by Lars's Head. A lot of people are worried about Lars dying in Lars's head. Off with his head. Lars gonna die, yes or no?
No. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm not saying I would want it to happen, but I don't think it's going to.
Yeah, probably not. We would assume.
No.
Probably.
But
I mean, they haven't really killed anyone in the show, so
no,
I
Business
can't.
is the closest, and I suppose Rose and all the crystal gems earlier, but
yeah, this would be the
but more like a backstory than anything.
Yeah.
It would be the darkest thing they've done. Yeah. I do think Lars's arc could be, if Lars just has a brave, heroic ending, that could be a solid conclusion to his arc, but it's probably less likely than likely. Okay, so Steven awaits trial. Blue is pissed. The diamonds are yellow. White is a fusion of the diamonds. What's Yellow doing with the lightning?
Do you think she's just asserting her authority kind of thing?
Could be.
Maybe trying to be intimidating?
Yeah, I think that could be. Yeah.
It kind of fits into the scope of her character.
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
Yeah. It's either something like that or trying to prevent them from escaping. Because
that would make sense.
You'd assume Lars's head ends with Steven escaping. The big question is how could that even happen? Does he
on the Pelican?
commandeer a ship?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. I get as far as we know, the Pelicans don't fly themselves. They're contained within the body part ships. But it could fly. I don't know. And so Steven could commandeer some sort of ship, or do the crystal gems come and rescue him? I guess those are the two possibilities.
Yeah.
My theory on that is that because we've already sort of seen and stuck together that gems are, I say, compassionate towards Steven, if that makes sense. And so I don't think it would be hard for Steven to wrangle up some gems who would be willing to help him escape.
Yeah, I mean, that would be very like the show to have Steven converting
Topaz is already on their side. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, Topaz, he already got Topaz too, and that was easy enough, So I don't think that it's a far-fetched idea for other gems on Homeworld to feel similarly to the way that Topaz did, and then want to assist Steven from there. And he could even be like, hey, help me escape, and then come hang out on Earth, kind of situation.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
I feel like we might get a crystal gems, a couple scenes with them, of them freaking out, basically. But they made a point with that line. I think it was in either the dad or the mom episode. I can't remember. But I think Amethyst said oh, we don't have a ship, so we can't go. They purposely said that line. So I'm thinking they probably won't show up.
Yeah.
Unless maybe the rubies show up and help them or something random like that. But I don't know how they would get there otherwise.
The rubies are a good point. Definitely need to keep them in mind because they're a factor. They're probably on Homeworld and gems we know. I'm definitely skeptical of the crystal gems appearing in this event because I think they probably would have shown them in the trailer. We see a shot of Pearl not even from these 4 episodes. So I think that and I also just don't think that logically it makes sense that they're able to get to Homeworld. So it's
or for Steven's character arc too,
right? And Steven
if he's
handled
able
it
to
on
save
his own.
himself.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is that the Steven universe, the show as a whole, does a really good job at following Steven. Anytime that we have an episode that's about other characters, it's usually Steven's being told the story or something along those lines. It's never anything that where they're just oh, let's go check in on Garnet and the gang. It's never like that. It's always oh, this is what we did while you were gone. Or, this took place, while this was happening kind of thing. So I don't see the crystal gems like showing up unless Steven escapes and he's back on Earth kind of thing.
Yeah, right. So we wouldn't get to see how they got there if they were to show up. They would just show up.
Yeah, right.
They would just like with, Bubbled, or I believe it was Bubbled. I'm getting episodes confused, but it's just like how, they picked Steven up from space. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't there and then they weren't.
It just happens.
So,
yeah. I agree. I think probably they're not going to show up, but I guess I think the leading theory probably is Topaz helps and potentially other gems help them escape. I think that makes sense because why put a point of having Topaz Topaz seems like a major new gem. She talks, she has emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
Why show her being sympathetic to Steven unless it pays off somehow?
And even with other gems like, Peridot and Lapis, they were homeworld gems.
Yeah, and clearly this is a pattern. It's worth noting, Lapis could probably get to homeworld. They say we don't have a ship, but Lapis we saw in season 1, Lapis just fly to homeworld on her own.
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
Right. So Lapis could show up. That's worth keeping in mind that we have a gem capable of doing that on her own. I don't see any indication that Lapis is happening here in this event, but,
no. No, I don't
the assumption here is that we're off homeworld at the end of Lars's head. Is that true?
That's my assumption.
I think so.
It's going to be frustrating if we go to Homeworld and we're gone in 3 episodes, I would say.
It would be.
Well, yeah, it'll be very frustrating, but it's not unlike the writing of Steven Universe for things to come and go so quickly.
Agree.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I have a theory about the Off Colors episode, because that sounds like that title's really interesting to me. But I'm wondering if my gladiator combat trials thing comes out true. I'm wondering if maybe the trial episode happens, he meets Blue and Yellow and everything, and then ends with him starting all of these trials. And I'm wondering if maybe the Off Colors one is he is faced with all of Rose's transgressions or whatever, and he discovers more stuff about her backstory and everything, and maybe all those rose quartz gems show up somehow, as a hostage situation kind of thing. And then by the time we get back to Beach City, Steven is like, guys, I learned this random thing that maybe helps him find Pink if she's lying or whatever, or makes him confront the crystal gems about something that he learned that maybe they were hiding from him or something like that. I don't know. I feel like we're probably going to end up back at Beach City by the end, but I think there's going to be a lot of new information that we can play with while we're there.
Yeah, I think there's a great point here in that this isn't as straightforward as we're talking about. There's a trial, Steven escapes. We're in a Steven character arc with the explicit purpose of him addressing these giant things he has about his mom. And something needs to happen that does something involving that. Getting more rose quartz into play is interesting, and getting Steven coming back and figuring out him ascertaining that he escapes with Lars, and they go through the old homeworld, the ancient homeworld with the original gems in the holes, and there they discover information that indicates that Pink Diamond is lion. Yeah, right.
It's a giant lion statue.
Right.
Or something.
Yes. Of course I bring it back to that. But it's something that indicates new information about his mom that he can address when he gets back to Beach City. I think that's a logical route to go with this.
Yeah, because looking at all the old-fashioned homeworld ancient area, there's got to be something they find there. There has
to be something because. And it just depends, too, because I know we haven't even heard, but I think depending on, what information we do and don't discover during these episodes and while we're on Homeworld, will also, it sounds terrible to think about, but it will also help us figure out if the 5th season will be the last season of Steven Universe, too, because there hasn't been any word about it being renewed for a 6th season or for any seasons after the 5th one. So I think that will also help sort of connect into the tone and where this season goes.
I'm very confident that there's currently a season 6 in production from what I can hear. Like Matt Burnett just tweeted, he retweeted the episode, Cartoon Network announcing the episode on the app Stuck Together. He said, first episode of Steven Universe season 5 is available now. Glad I was able to work on the entirety of the season before switching jobs. I believe that implies that there's, like, we know Matt Burnett's working on a new show for Cartoon Network now that after that was announced. That definitely implies that Steven Universe continued beyond him leaving, which is the season 6.
That'd be a weird thing to write if it was like he would just
if it was going to end.
And I do know for a fact Steven Universe is currently in production, so it's like we're and they work like a year and a half ahead. We've got plenty to go here, is what I would say. So
I was gonna say, don't they work like? Is it a year and a half or 6 months? I know they do the voice recording 6 months.
I believe they write about a year and a half ahead of pace.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to go here. But we're getting to Homeworld like way before the show ends, so I think that's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we'll go back to Homeworld?
Yeah.
I think so.
Once you can't just put us there once and never put us there again.
Right? Yeah.
I think.
I don't know. We went to the zoo. I want to go back there.
Yeah, let's go back to I mean, the rose courses, I think, need to come into play. That room of rose courses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they can't just leave them alone.
Yeah. So I think out of all these takeaways, my biggest takeaway I do think is the White Diamond fusion thing. If that is true, I think White Diamond being a fusion of the 3 diamonds is predicated upon the fact that Pink Diamond is alive. Like, you can't, because how else could we ever see the fusion of White Diamond without Pink Diamond being alive? So I think if we learn that White Diamond is just a fusion, then like Pink Diamond's alive and we're going to meet her. And then the finale of the show is like Pink Diamond's on our side, but then they take her and force her to fuse into the White Diamond. And that's like the final boss. Like, that's like totally how I see the show going now after this preview.
I think that makes sense.
I was going to say, that's the only end game that I can see that would make sense.
Yeah. You can't
it's not
White Diamond can't exist and not have her
fuse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it happened previously, but that's true. The show's not like we talk about with Lars. It's not that dark. So,
it's not going to be.
If we learn that White Diamond's a fusion, we got to see the fusion. So that means Pink Diamond's alive. Okay.
One day.
Okay. Like, what was your okay, that's the trailer. What were your reactions to Stuck? It seems so insignificant now, but Hayley, what were your reactions to Stuck Together?
I liked it. It was nice. It was definitely, especially after seeing this trailer, it was very much like what was the one in the zoo arc of like the Adventures in Light Distortion. It was kind of like that, where it's like we're going to the main place, the main scene of everything. But I liked it. I thought the Topaz bit was adorable. She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I know.
So cute. And she's like, I just want to be together and everything. And I agree. I love Aquamarine. When I first saw her, I was like, is that a baby lapis? Like, what is that? But no, she's just a snarky, like, fairy kind of thing. So I liked it. It was neat. It was like, I think I'm more hyped for all the next ones, but I think it was a nice, like, leading up, especially if Topaz gets integrated into it and has more of a role, which I think she's probably going to. So it was a cool setup episode.
I think the reaction was probably like an hour ago was more of we're at Homeworld, and now it's like, okay, we saw this trailer, but like when we saw there was a solid few hours today when we saw the episode and not the trailer. So I think, what was your reactions, April, to it?
I liked it as well. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I agree with Hayley. I love Topaz. She's such a sweetheart, and my heart kind of broke for her a little bit as well. And then Aquamarine, again, I didn't like her at first, but now I'm like, oh, she's just that annoying pixie character that everyone like loves to hate. So
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the best type of character.
In the best kind. But I think that it was a really good episode to like lead into going to Homeworld as well. And again, I think it set up a lot of like how, like, if I hadn't seen that episode and had watched like the promo, I think my interpretation of like the trailer would have been completely different. And so I think it was a really good, it kind of gives you like a good idea and feel as to how Homeworld is going to, I don't know, I don't want to say like be, but sort of that atmosphere that it helps create.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Them releasing the first episode, which was totally intentional, by the way, is like a hype for the event. Was, that helps us a lot with the trailer interpretation for sure.
Yeah.
My main reaction to this episode as I was watching was, Steven started to escape with, Topaz. I was like, yeah, okay, that makes more sense than going to Homeworld right now, which is crazy. And I was like shocked that they didn't actually escape. So I didn't believe that we were actually doing that. Now, like, obviously, because we saw this trailer, but like between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., like this was, this was a reality that existed. And I was buying into the escape because I don't understand why we're at Homeworld now, but it makes sense if we're going back afterwards. I'm worried that the show's going to fall back into its pattern before yada yada yada. I hope this spurs on further Pink Diamond Rose developments on the line, and I'm still 100% in on that. Even they keep presenting more info, and I'm still in on it. And I'm worried. I'm definitely worried that my new fave Aquamarine will not be seen outside of that episode. Although she's really glorious and stuck together when she's like, "Oh no, that's my jam!" Like it's so good. I love that.
She's great.
I definitely think Topaz is the favorite to be seen in the future more than Aquamarine. Now that Topaz like could join the Crystal Gems and escape with them, like that seems like a possibility. Mm-hmm. But I need
and the fact that she is willing to help them escape too. So something to keep in mind.
She wasn't, if they do end up taking something like the Pelican or something like that, she wasn't, as far as we could tell, she wasn't in that with them.
If they escape from the...
Maybe she was like behind a curtain or something.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. If they escape from the Pelican, then she's not there, but I'm skeptical of them flying through space on Blue Diamond's Pelican, but
Yeah, it doesn't seem very safe.
No.
Maybe to like take it to like a ship or something like that. You never know. Where Topaz is waiting for them.
Yeah. Yes.
Could be anything. So. Anything could happen.
Rubies, we'll see. And that new what's the name of the new gem? Thoughts? I'm not good with the precious gems naming scheme.
I was even trying to think of what are other blue sort of
I think there's
gemstones?
a blue one called tourmaline is something. Oh. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
She seems interesting.
Maybe I need to scour the internet.
Yeah. We'll outsource this. Post names in the comments what you think that she might be.
There we go.
And I don't remember what I was going to say. So it's too much. The Wanted event seems like a good name, except Rose isn't really wanted. She's been captured, so I don't know if like Wanted makes sense. That name is definitely not from the show. Cartoon Network just makes up their name. So So we're definitely looking forward to the trial, Off Colors, and Lars's Head on Memorial Day. Only 2 weeks and like 4 days from now. So yeah. They'll probably be released
2 weeks and some change.
They'll probably be released early on the app. One would assume.
At this rate.
Yeah, I mean this is like an integrated strategy throughout Cartoon Network of they're doing a lot of shows like this. They're releasing early. So
I found a neat blue gemstone name.
Okay.
One's called Kyanite, I think it's pronounced. It starts with a K, which sounds
Kaya.
Kind of techy.
Kaya.
Yeah, exactly.
Kaya.
Let's get Kaya in here. Yeah. Okay.
There's plenty to choose from, though.
Let's wrap this up. Final, I don't know, one final thought on either trailer or where we're going or the hype level, Hayley.
I'm pumped. I'm very pumped because I think that we're gonna end this like Wanted series kind of thing. I think we're gonna end it with knowing a lot more information, or even if not a couple small things, something really big. Because I feel like we're going to Homeworld. There has to be some payoff here. So I'm excited for all these episodes, but I'm also excited to find out what we don't know and like what it's going to lead to later on. So, and I love like world building and mythology and a storyline and everything. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah. April.
I'm excited. There's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of hype. And I just only hope that it lives up to it and then keeps that momentum going. So I'm excited. This is the promo was good, very well put together. So ready.
Yeah. Oh man, too much.
It's a lot to process.
It's too much for this day for us. Yes.
The things I'm most excited about potentially happening after this trailer in our discussion are, one, the White Diamond fusion confirmed, and two, Steven and Lars learning about something integral that leads to Steven figuring out Lioness Pink Diamond. Those are the two potential possibilities that I'm more.
Please.
By the way, if that doesn't happen, I'm going to be very, people are going to give me a lot of crap. So it needs to happen. Just for my,
it makes sense.
I've seen a lot of evidence for and zero evidence against, like even with these new episodes. So,
yeah.
Even
And
on just
people,
like a storytelling level, it's very satisfying to have it like she was there the whole time and everything.
yeah, people are really, and you know, as much as time as I spend on the internet, I think that's something that the fan base would like to see as well. Like, I think they're like, oh yes, we would love it if the wool was, you know, you pull the wool up from our eyes and there's Pink Diamond all along. Like,
yeah, I think fans of the podcast are sick of me talking about it, but other than that, people seem behind it. So we'll see. Yeah. So looking forward to this. We'll have full coverage whenever this event airs. Will we discuss stuff together separately early? I don't know, dude. This is Cartoon Network's making podcasting very difficult. This is, how do we cover online releases versus TV releases versus leaks? It's, you know, we'll see.
Yeah.
it's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
And I will say Cartoon Network does not make it easy. I mean,
I like the general direction they're going in. They have some kinks to work out, but it's they understand that online is the future. So I think that's generally what they're doing. One thing I'll say, look out for it might be up very soon by the time we're doing this. I believe the first 2-minute preview things of the next 3 episodes will probably be online at some point. Those are genuine leaks. Those aren't intentional. They're just pulled from the servers, but they happen every episode that when it's like uploaded to Cartoon Network servers. So that's probably gonna happen soon, and we'll get like the first 2 minutes of the last episode of the event. So that'll probably spoil a lot. That's what happened with the last bomb.
Yeah.
So that's just inevitable. I think to counter that, you just release them right away, but I doubt they'll do that. So we will see. We will maybe have answers sooner or later, but very exciting. Yeah. Thanks for listening to all of that. I think that went well. I think we uncovered a lot. If we missed anything, let us know in the comments. If there have been developments since then, we don't know, but you can post them in the comments anyway, but just know that we don't know them yet. And, you can check us out, overlyanimated.com. We have full coverage of Steven Universe. Always check us out at, Patreon to support us at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all of our patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Cordell, aka Cordell University. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, John, Ryan, Steve, and Alex. Okay, so I think that's it. Too much hype, too much energy expenditures. That's been a while since we've had a trailer dissect. It's very fun.
It is.
So
I was gonna say I enjoyed it.
This is good.
Oh yeah.
Good. So yeah, good job, April Hayley. Right into the thick of it, and we uncovered a lot here. So yeah, let us know in your comments, guys, everything you thought, speculation for the gem name, whatever else, why I'm wrong about Lion being Pink Diamond. I'm sure someone will chime in with that, and we'll see. So we'll see you guys whenever we're back with this, and thank you guys for listening. Bye.
Bye.